Hi everyone, today we're gonna create this beautiful cabin environment in Unreal Engine. I'll show you each setup, ensuring you can follow along and achieve the same beautiful results. So stick around till the end. Let's get started. First, we're gonna create a new project. In the game section, select the blank template without any starter content. I'm gonna name it tutorial and hit create. After that, we're gonna create a new level. For that, go to file, new level, and I'm gonna go with the empty level and hit create. Here you can see the empty level. So first we're gonna create a basic lighting setup. To do that, go to window, and here you can see this environmental light mixer. Just click on it and create skylight, atmosphere, sky atmosphere, volumetric cloud, and height fog. Just close this tab like that. Here you can see that we have basic lighting setup. I'm gonna create a new folder with the name of lightning, and I'm gonna drag and drop them into this folder. After setting the basic lighting, I'm gonna do some project settings. So for that, go to edit, project settings, map and modes. Before changing the map, first we have to make sure that we save our map. For that, hit Ctrl S, and I'm gonna name it main and hit save. Now again in project settings, in map and modes, we're gonna change our map from open world to main. Now we're gonna create a landscape. To do that, just click on the selection mode over here and landscape. And here we're going to change this 63 multiply 63 quadrants to 31 and then hit create. After creating a landscape, just go to selection mode and I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name it landscape, and just drag and drop this landscape to landscape folder. Now before sculpting the landscape, we're going to import cabin to our project. So for that, I'm going to open the content browser. You can open the content browser from here. Just click on this content drawer button, or you can hold Ctrl and press space. Now right here, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to name it cabin. After creating a folder, now I'm going to download the cabin. Now in your browser, search cgtutor.com, and over here, I'm going to search cabin. After searching the cabin, we're going to select this free filter over here. And here you can see we have a lot of free options. I'm going to go with this one. Just click on it. It's completely free, so we're gonna download it from here. Just click on free download button. After downloading it, we're gonna extract the file. Just right click and click on extract here. After extracting, open this export folder and then model. And here you can see that we have a lot of formats. So this one is in 3ds, FBX, MTL, and OBJ. You can see that from properties. As you can see that this one is in OBJ. So we're gonna go with this LOD fantasy house. Now I'm just gonna open my Unreal Engine and open the content browser. Now just drag and drop this LOD 0 fantasy house over here. And I'm gonna untick this generate missing collisions. And make sure to create new materials and click on import all. Just close this tab. Just select all of these meshes like that, and over here I'm gonna drag and drop them. Now we're gonna apply textures to them. So for that, I'm gonna create a new folder over here. I'm gonna name it textures and open the folder like that, and then open our model folder, and in the export here you can see that we have textures folder. So open it, and in logwood, just select all of these textures and drag and drop them into a folder. Again, go to this folder in textures folder and open the rope folder and select all of these textures and drag and drop them into a folder again. We're gonna do the same thing again. Now we have all of these textures over here. So I'm gonna open the first material, which is pattern logwood. So double click to open it. After opening it, this is the material editor, as you can see. So if you hold right mouse button, you can navigate in the material editor, and I'm gonna select this parameter and I'm gonna delete it. Now we're gonna add our textures. So for the textures, just open the content browser in the textures folder, and here you can see that we have this logwood texture. So I'm gonna select all of these and drag and drop them into my material editor. And this one is albedo, which is a base color. So I'm gonna plug it over here. And this one is normal. So normal into normal. And this one is roughness. So I'm gonna plug it to roughness. After that, we don't need to change anything. Just click on apply. As you can see that the material is working fine and it looks great. So we're gonna do the same thing with these materials. So just open the second material, which is the rope one. Double click, open it, delete this parameter, and in the textures, select these rope textures and drag and drop them into material editor. The first one is base color. The second one is ambient occlusion. This one is roughness and normal. Hit apply. After that, here you can see that the rope looks great. Then we're gonna apply material to this thatch. So for that, just open the thatch material, delete this parameter, and I'm gonna select the thatch textures, base color, normal, and roughness. Apply the material and just close the tab. And finally, you can see that the materials are completely applied to our cabin. So before doing anything, just save everything. I'm going to click this unsaved button and save selected. As you can see that the house is in individual pieces. So we're going to create a group first to combine them. So for that, just select all of these static meshes, and you can hold Control and press G, or you can right click and create group from here. Now the all individual pieces are combined together, as you can see there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a new folder, and I'm gonna name it cabin, or maybe house. Just select all of this and drag and drop them into house folder. Now I'm gonna sculpt my landscape. Before that, I'm gonna bring my house over here. That looks great. Let's just go to landscape mode, and we're gonna add some more components to landscape. To do that, just go to manage tab and click on this add button, and now we can add some more components to our landscape like that. I'm gonna bring my house little bit over here. Now it looks great. So now let's just start sculpting our landscape. Go to landscape mode, and in sculpt tab, just select the sculpt tool, and you can increase or decrease the strength and also brush size and fall off. And you can sculpt down by holding shift. Now let's just sculpt overlay. I'm going to increase my brush size, and by holding the shift we can sculpt down. Then I'm going to smooth my landscape by selecting this smooth tool. I'm going to increase my tool strength. After that, let's just go to selection mode and bring our house little bit up over here. Then again, I'm gonna go to landscape mode, and I'm gonna smooth the area. Now as you can see, it looks great. Go to selection mode. Now we can add water to our landscape. So for that, first we need to enable our water plugin. So just go to edit, plugins, and here we're going to search water, and I'm going to enable both of them. And we have to restart our engine. First make sure to save everything. Save selected. And now in the plus icon, I'm going to search water, and here you can see all the water classes. So I'm going to use this water body lake. So just drag and drop this over here. Now before expanding the water, first we have to make sure that the effect landscape is disabled. Just click on it to disable it, and then I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to drag and drop my lake into this folder. Now let's just select this spline point and start expanding our lake. You can add multiple spline points by right clicking and add spline point here. As you can see, it looks great. Now you might notice this, my water color is different from yours. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So first we're going to select our water body lake, and I'm going to scroll down a little bit. And here in the reddening tab, you can see this water material. Just double click to open it and scroll down a little bit over here. And in the global vector parameter values, I'm using this scattering and also absorption. The absorption color is pretty much the same, but I'm using this scattering. In your case, this might be off, so you have to enable it first. And I'm using this color. Let me show you how it works. So I'm going to change it to dark blue. As you can see that this is how it works. So I'm going to change it to my default color like that, and click on save. And if you want to customize it, you can also do that. For me it looks great, so I'm going to close it. Now let's apply material to our landscape. Now I'm going to import a material from Quixel Bridge. So here in the plus icon, I'm going to open the Quixel Bridge. As you can see, I have already downloaded my landscape material, which is the rocky ground. So I'm just going to click on this add button over here. And then I'm going to close the bridge. Now let's just open the content browser. Then here you can see this mega scans folder. Just click on it and open the surfaces and rocky ground. And here we have this rocky ground material instance. So I'm going to select the rocky ground material instance and then select the landscape. Then we're going to find landscape material. Here you can see that in the landscape tab, we have this landscape material. I'm just going to click on this arrow over here. As you can see that the material has been applied to our landscape, but you might see that the tiling is too repetitive. So we're going to fix that. Just double click to open the material instance. And over here you can see the tiling in offset tab. Just enable it and expand it. And I'm going to change the value from 1 to 0.1 like that. Just click save. Now as you can see that it looks great. It's not the perfect, but we're gonna cover this area by placing some assets. So for that it looks great. Now let's just import assets to our project and start building our environment. For that, let's just open our Quixel Bridge. And in the local, as you can see, I have already downloaded my assets. So here you can see that we have this sandstone rocky ground. So don't worry about the color of these assets. We're gonna customize it in Unreal Engine. So I'm just gonna click on this export button. Now for clarification, you can find all of these assets in the home tab, 3D assets, and in nature, and we're gonna select this rock filter. Then you can see all of these rock scans over here. So whichever you like, you can download it. I'm also using this rocky ground, also this one. After importing them into our engine, let's just close the Quixel bridge. And now if you open the content browser, now in the Megascans folder we have this 3D assets folder. So I'm gonna open it. Now I'm gonna enable my static mesh filter like that. If you don't see those filter over here, you can enable them by clicking on these three lines, and over here you can see all of these filters. So I'm gonna enable my static mesh and also skeleton mesh. After that, let's just start placing our assets to our environment like that. After placing the assets, now I'm gonna match the color of these rocks. So first I'm gonna grab this one over here. Now let's just start matching the colors. First I'm gonna select this one, and in the details panel of this cliff we have this material. Just double click to open the material. Here you can see this albedo tint. Just enable it. Now we're gonna change it to something like gray, like that. We can also pick the color from here if you like it. As you can see that now it looks great. Let's just delete this one, and I'm also gonna customize the color of this rock. Just double click to open the material, albedo tint. And also we're going to customize the color of our landscape. So for that, let's just open the landscape material like that. And I'm also going to change the albedo tint. Now it looks great. Let's just close the tab. After placing the assets, it's time to import foliage to our project. Open the Quixel bridge. Now for the foliage, I'm using this 3D plant over here, and also this one, and also this one. After importing the foliage to our project, let's just go to foliage mode from here, foliage, and over here you can see all of these 3D plants that we just imported. I'm gonna paint this foliage over here. Just select the first one, and by holding shift select the last one like that, and by clicking here you can enable the foliage. Now I'm gonna test my foliage. As you can see, the scale is small. I'm gonna increase this to something like 10 to 12. Now it looks great. Let's just increase a little bit more, and I'm gonna decrease my density to something like 50. I'm also gonna paint the foliage on top of the house. Again, I'm gonna open the content browser, and in the 3D plants, I'm gonna open this folder. Here I'm gonna drag and drop this plant and scale it up. It looks great. I'm gonna place it over here, and I also drag and drop this one, scale it up. It looks great. Now let's just go to foliage mode again. And here I selected some of these big leaf plants. Before painting, make sure to deselect all of these 3D plants. Now let's just start painting. I'm gonna increase the scale a little bit, something like 4 to 6. Decrease the density to something like 2. Now it looks great. I'm gonna decrease my brush size also. Now let's just save everything. I'm gonna click this unsaved button and make sure to save selected. Now let's just animate our foliage. To do that, I'm gonna open the content browser, and in the 3D plants we have this material instance. So I'm gonna open this one, and here we're gonna search wind and enable grass wind, and also wind intensity and wind speed. We can increase this to something like 1 and hit save. As you can see that now it looks great. We also gonna do the same with this one. Search wind, wind intensity and wind speed. Let's just do the same with these one. Now we are also going to increase the saturation of these plants. So to do that, just go to content browser again and open the material instance like that. And here you can see this albedo texture. Just double click to open it. And here in the details panel, we have this saturation. Just increase this to something like 1.5. And also increase the vibrance to something like 1. And hit save. Now we're gonna do the same with the rest of the foliage. So let's just do that. I'm gonna open this folder and open this material instance, albedo texture, and increase the saturation to something 1.5, and also increase the vibrance. As you can see that it looks great. Now I'm gonna add background mountains to my environment. To do that, just open Epic Game Launcher. Now in Epic Game Marketplace, search background and hit enter. And make sure to select this free filter over here. And here you can see that landscape background, which is completely free. Just click on it and add to project. Select your project and add to project. After importing them into our project, let's just open the content browser, and here you can see this photoreal backgrounds folder. Open it, and I'm gonna select the static mesh filter. And if you want to increase the thumbnail size, just click on the settings, and here thumbnail size, I'm gonna change it to large. Scroll down a little bit. I'm gonna use this one. Drag and drop this over here. Like that. And we can increase the scale. After placing the background mountains, let's import trees to our project. Now in Epic Games Marketplace, search landscape and enable this free filter. Here you can see this Landscape Pro 2.0. I'm using this one. Just click here to open it. I'm gonna add this to my project. After importing them to your project, let's just go to foliage mode and open content browser. I'm gonna decrease the thumbnail size to medium. And here you can see this STF folder. Just double click to open it. And I'm gonna select the static mesh filter. Right here we have these SM pine trees. So just select all of them and drag and drop them into foliage mode. Here I'm gonna select all of them like that. I'm gonna increase the size to something like 3 to 5. It looks great. And also decrease the density to something like 1 or maybe 0.5. Now before painting, make sure to disable this align to normal. And now let's start painting our trees. I'm also gonna paint these trees over here. I'm gonna decrease the scale to something like 1 to 1.5, 2 to 3. Yeah, it looks great. Let's just start painting. After painting the trees, let's open content browser, and here in the photoreal backgrounds, select the static mesh filter, and over here you can see this billboard. Drag and drop this in foliage and make sure to disable all of these trees and select this one. Let's just decrease the density to something like 20, and I'm going to increase the scale to something 2. It looks great. 1.5. Now let's just start painting these trees. But before painting the trees, make sure to disable this align to normal. Now let's set up our lighting and do some post-process work. Just go to selection mode. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to name it assets. And just drag and drop these into this folder. Now let's add post-process volume. Just click on this plus icon and search post-process. Drag and drop this here. And by selecting post-process volume, in the details panel of the post-process volume, search infinite. And here you can see this infinite extend unbound. Just enable it. And here we can do some post-process work. So first I'm gonna enable this metering mode and also exposure compensation and change this auto to manual. And I'm gonna give a value to something like 9. After that, select the direction light. In the lighting folder, select this direction light and increase the intensity. And we can also change the rotation of the direction light. Just hold Ctrl and L, and by dragging the mouse, you can change the rotation of the sun. Now you might notice these shadows issue, so we can easily fix that. In the console command, search r.shadow distance scale and hit space and then enter 0. And then over here I'm gonna press enter. Just click right here and press enter. As you can see that it looks great now. Then again in the post-process volume, scroll down a little bit. In the image effects, I'm gonna enable the vignette and sharpen, increase the intensity like that, and also increase the sharpen. Again, in the color grading section, in global, enable the saturation, and I'm gonna give it value to something like 1.3. For now it looks great. Now we can create some clouds and fog to add extra depth to our mountains. For that, I'm gonna open content browser, and here I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm gonna name it to something like fog. Open it, and again I'm gonna create a new material over here. I'm gonna name it fog_m. Just double click to open the material. Now in the material editor, in the details panels, we're gonna change this blend mode from opaque to translucent. Now we're gonna add some nodes. To add nodes in material editor, just right click, and I'm gonna search gradient exponential. Here you can see this radial gradient exponential. Just click on it. Over here we're gonna add multiply. We can right click and search multiply. Here it is. Or we can hold M and press left mouse button like that. And over here we're gonna add depth fade node. Depth fade. Just plug the depth fade here and radial exponential here, and multiply into opacity. Now to control the opacity and fade distance of the depth fade, we're gonna create parameters. So hold S and press left mouse button, and I'm gonna name it opacity. Again, create another parameter, fade distance. Plug them here, and I'm gonna give them a default value to something like 1. Make sure to plug the base color into radial gradient exponential like that, and then hit apply. For now, let's just close the material editor like that. I'm gonna save it, and here let's just add plane. Scale the plane to something like maybe 100. Now here we have this fog material, so we're gonna create a material instance first. Just right click, create material instance, and by selecting the material instance, in the details panel of this plane, just click on this arrow to swap the materials. Now you can see that we have this material. I'm gonna drag and drop this material over here. I'm gonna scale it up a little bit. Now you can see that the edges of this fog is too sharp, so we're gonna fix that. Just double click to open the material instance, and we can control the opacity and fade distance. Just enable the fade distance and opacity, and I'm gonna increase the fade distance like that. As you can see that it looks great now. Now I'm gonna create some more variants of this fog. So for that, I'm gonna duplicate this fog material, duplicate, and double click to open it. Here we're gonna open the content browser. Now right here you can see this engine folder. If you don't have this engine folder, just click on this settings and make sure to enable this show engine content. After that, open the engine folder, and I'm gonna search here noise. And if you scroll down a little bit, and here you can see this tiling noise 05. I'm gonna drag and drop this over here. And again we're gonna add multiply node by holding M and press left mouse button. Plug this over here and RGB into A, and then multiply into opacity. Now in the content browser, in the fog folder, and I'm gonna create a material instance of this material, and just duplicate this plane over here and apply this material instance like that. Now I'm gonna place this fog all over the mountains. As you can see that the fog looks great. Now let's just play with the exponential height fog. In the lightning, click on this exponential height fog, and I'm gonna increase the density like that. And I'm also gonna decrease the fog height fog. And over here, I'm gonna increase the start distance. Now it looks great. We can also animate our fog. Further, just open the content browser. I'm gonna open this material M1. And over here, we're just gonna add panel node. Just right click and search panel. Click on it and plug the panel into the UVs of this texture. Now to control the speed of this panel, we're gonna add parameter. Just hold S and press left mouse button. And I'm gonna name it speed. And I'm gonna give a default value of something like 0.01 and plug it like that. Hit apply. As you can see that the fog is animated now. We can also rotate the plane if you want. Now over here, what I'm gonna do, first I'm gonna hide this foliage for now for better performance from here. As you can see this instance foliage actor, just click on this eye icon. Now I'm gonna add some lights to this house. So for that, I'm gonna go over here and here in plus icon, lights, I'm gonna add this rect light. And I'm gonna increase the intensity, maybe 2000. And also we can increase the radius like that and change the light color from white to something like orange. Now I'm gonna duplicate it. Just hold Alt and drag the mouse like that. As you can see that it looks great. Now let's open Epic Games. And again in the Epic Game Marketplace, search fire. And make sure to select this free filter. And here you can see this M5 VFX Volume 2. Just click on it and I'm gonna import this to my project, tutorial, and add to project. After adding it to your project, just open the content browser. And here you can see this M5 VFX Volume 2. Just click on it. And first I'm gonna select the static mesh filter. And here you can see that we have barrel mesh. So I'm gonna drag and drop this over here. Scale it up like that. Now again open the content browser and disable this static mesh filter. And in the particles, in fire, just drag and drop this first one over here. Scale it up a little bit. As you can see that it looks great. Now we're gonna change the material of this barrel. So for that I'm gonna open the Quixel Bridge. Now in Quixel Bridge, as you can see, I'm using this rusty painted metal sheet. I'm just gonna add it to my project. Now here I'm just gonna open my content browser and in Megascans, surfaces, rusty painted, and select this material instance and also select this. After selecting the barrier, just click on this arrow over here. Now we're just gonna rotate our barrel like that. Now it looks great. Then open the Quixel Bridge again. In the Quixel Bridge, I'm gonna add this one modular wooden fence. Add it to project. Open the 3D assets. Select the static mesh filter and just drag and drop this over here. Scale it up like that. I'm gonna select all of them and hold Alt, drag them over here. Let's just enable the foliage. Now as you can see it looks great. Make sure to save everything. Now we can add board to our project. For that let's just open Sketchfab, and here in Sketchfab I'm using this wooden board over here. It's completely free, you can also download that. Big thanks to the creator. Let's just download this 3D model. As you can see that this 3D model is in OBJ file format. So we're gonna download it. After downloading it, just right click and extract here and open the source file. Now if you right click and go to properties, as you can see that this 3D model is in OBJ file format. So first we're gonna convert it to FPX. Now I'm gonna use Blender to convert my OBJ file to FPX. You can use any 3D software if you want. If you don't have any 3D software, you can download Blender, it's completely free, and convert your file into FPX. Or you can download another 3D model which is in FPX file format from Sketchpad for free. Now let's just import the OBJ file from here. Import OBJ. I'm gonna import my file. As you can see that after importing it, let's just export it. Select the boot, file, export, FBX, and go to desktop, tutorial assets. I'm gonna name it boot, then just hit export. And here we have this boot FPS file. Let's just open the Unreal Engine, and I'm gonna open the content browser. And here I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to name it board. First I'm going to hide the foliage, just hide it. Then I'm going to open my board folder, and over here just drag and drop this board. Now over here we don't need to change anything, just make sure to create new materials and hit import all. After importing it, as you can see that we have this board. I'm just gonna drag and drop this right here and make sure to scale it down. Now let's just apply textures to it. For that I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm gonna name it textures, and also we have this textures folder. Just open it, and I'm gonna select all of these textures and drag and drop them into our content browser. Then open the board material from here. Over here we're gonna delete this parameter and open the content browser again, and just select all of these textures and drag and drop them in the material editor. The first one is base color, this one is normal, and this one is roughness. Hit apply. Now as you can see that it looks great. Now we're gonna add birds to our project. For that, open Epic Games. In Epic Games Marketplace, I'm gonna search Rural Australia. As you can see that we have this Rural Australia pack, which is completely free. I'm just gonna add it to my project, tutorial, and add to project. This pack has really high quality and useful assets, so I recommend you to download it. This is gonna help you in future projects. After adding Rural Australia to your project, let's just open content browser, and here you can see the Rural Australia folder. Just click on it and then into effects, birds, and here you can see that birds Niagara system. So we're just gonna drag and drop them over here. Just select the birds pack again and duplicate it. Again duplicate it like that. Now as you can see we have these beautiful birds flying around. Now we're gonna add level sequences to our project. To do that, just click on this icon and add level sequencer. I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm gonna name it L_SQ. Just double click to open it, and I'm gonna save my level sequencer here. After adding the level sequencer, then I'm gonna add my camera. Just click on this plus icon and here search camera. And here you can see this in a camera actor. Just drag and drop this over here. Then I'm gonna set my camera angle, and then just in the outliner, Cine Camera Actor, and just right click on Cine Camera Actor and snap object to view. Then we're gonna go into camera mode from here, perspective, Cine Camera Actor. Now we're gonna do some basic camera settings. Here in the details panel of the camera, we're gonna change this digital film to DSLR, and then you can adjust the focal length according to your environment. I'm gonna set this to something like 26, and also you can increase the current aperture something like 4. After that, looks great. You can also add motion blur if you want. Just search motion blur, enable the amount. I'm gonna change it to something like 3 or 2 maybe. Target FPS will be 24. After then, I'm gonna unhide my foliage. So from here, as you can see, that looks great. Now we can animate our camera. So to do that, just drag and drop our cine camera actor into the level sequencer, and over here I'm gonna add transform keyframe, and then at the end of the timeline just change the location of the camera, something like that, and then again I'm gonna add transform keyframe here. We can also increase the timeline length if you want. So I'm gonna do something like 240. Increase the cine camera actor and also put this keyframe over here. Now we're gonna change the interpolation mode of these keyframes. Just select both of these keyframes and right click and change from cubic auto to linear. Now as you can see that the animation looks great. Now we also gonna animate our boat. So for that, just select the boat. In the outliner, just drag and drop the boat over here. Then I'm gonna exit from camera mode. Just click on this icon, and also I'm gonna change my perspective from cine camera actor to perspective. Now it looks great. Now to animate the boat over here at 0 frame, just change the rotation of the boat, something like that, and add a transform keyframe. Then move the timeline over here and change the rotation, something like that, and add another keyframe. After adding the random keyframes, as you can see that the boat is animated now. Now we also gonna change the frame rate from 30 to 24. If you switch from perspective to camera mode, as you can see that it looks great. Now we're gonna render our shot through a movie render queue. For that, first enable movie render queue plugin. Just go to edit, plugins, and search movie render queue, movie render, and here you can see the movie render queue plugin. Just enable both of these and restart now. After restarting the engine, just open the content browser again, and in the content we're gonna open our level sequencer and then go to camera mode. Now let's just render our shot. So for that, just click on this render icon over here, and here is a movie render queue tab. So just click on this unsaved config, and here we're gonna do some basic settings to render our scene. So I'm just gonna delete this JPEG sequence, and I'm gonna add PNG sequence, and also I'm gonna add anti-aliasing, and then again I'm gonna add high resolution. And in the anti-aliasing tab, we're gonna change the temporal sample count to 32, and make sure to enable this override anti-aliasing. And in advance, I'm gonna change the warm-up count to 120. And in the output tab, we're gonna give an output directory from here, and then we can also change the output resolution if you want, and also you can change the frame rate from here. After that, just click on accept and hit render local. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to share it and subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot and helps me create more in-depth tutorials like this. See you next time.